So this is my other boat. 1984 Sea Sprite 30. Manufactured in Bristol, Rhode Island by the Ryder Company. A very small number of these Sea Sprite 30s were made. Apparently they sort of fell in a gap in the marketplace. Hundreds of Sea Sprite 28s were manufactured, and then about 50 or 60 Sea Sprite 34s were made. And the thought was that this would cover that gap, but apparently buyers either opted for the 28 or the 34. Didn't buy very many Sea Sprite 30s. So this is a rare boat. Alfred Luders design, similar in many ways to a Cape Dory, perhaps slightly higher quality construction. As you can see, this boat needs new paint on the deck. One of the previous owners painted the deck a lighter color, primarily on the non-skid, because he felt that it would reduce the interior heat when the boat was down in Florida. But all of that paint has now peeled off, or most of it's peeled off, and it doesn't make for a very pretty sight. I'm just going to walk forward here, hopefully not fall in on this rainy day. The chain plates and the shrouds are attached right there in the middle of the deck as you walk forward, so it's an obstacle. I tend to step up onto the salon roof to go around them. It's a nice boat. They're pretty well thought of. And this one, while I was not really in the market for a boat, I made a wild offer on it, expecting it to be rejected out of hand. In fact, I expected the seller to be insulted. And to my chagrin, he said, "Sure, no problem." And then I was pretty much compelled to pay the man his money. So now I find myself with two boats. But there really was a plan behind my madness, and that was that I would take this boat down to the Outer Banks. It'd be in Kitty Hawk, since I spend half the week down there, and it'd be a great boat to sail on the Pamlico, Albemarle, Currituck Sounds. My kids, seeing as Corsair, my 38-foot Cabo Rico, is primarily my pied de terre now in Washington, D.C., and I suspect I will probably not get to sail that boat as much as I would this one. So in my desire to get more hours sailing, I figured, particularly at the ridiculously low price I paid for this boat, that would make sense in some way. Of course, I haven't told my wife yet that I actually have this boat. Big secret. This is my mistress. Right? So, walking back around, back to the cockpit. Very rainy day here in Virginia. This is Regent's Point Marina in Topping, Virginia. It's a beautiful little marina. Primarily for sailboats. There's maybe one or two trawlers here occasionally. It's really a sailboat marina. Very well maintained, great management, great little boat yard as well. They do great work, reasonable prices. Very impressed. Sea Sprite 30s are a fractional rig, so there's a bit of rake in the mast there. Fractional sloop rig, and allegedly that helps them point to windward more effectively. What else can I tell you? Obviously the instrumentation's a bit old data marine depth and speed, distance gauges. Apparently they work. Lines run into aft, which is great, so you can single hand this pretty easily. What have I had done to it? Not a lot. Had a little bit of work done trying to stop a few leaks that I discovered, and there's still some leaks, but they're minor. I had the sails inventoried, surveyed, some minor repairs, resewing the luff and washed. And the sails are going to be reinstalled by Ullman Sails of Deltaville sometime when the rain stops. Had the engine serviced. I had a new shaft put in because the old shaft was very heavily scored right at the stuffing box. Had the old stuffing box removed and a dripless shaft seal put in. Also had a couple of sea cocks replaced that were frozen up. But that's really it. Didn't spend much for her and haven't spent much on her yet. I'm sure that will change. So April 30th, 2014, Regents Point Marina, frog strangler. We're also under a tornado watch. There's only been a little bit of thunder though. But since I took that initial walk around the deck, it has actually been just pouring down. Before it really got started though, I was a clever boy, and look what I did. I got the Bimini up, I got the Dodger installed, which you can't see through very well, and even connected them. So, the cockpit's more dry, but most importantly, I don't have water just gushing into the salon now. And so, I thought, now that I've gotten the salon cleaned up a little bit, I'll give you a tour. Right? So just as you come down the companionway, just backing up here, you've got small galley, just a port. Got a, I guess that's a 3-burner. I don't even know. Yep, 3-burner propane stove. Propane locker is out there. It's that small locker right there, just port of the wheel. So yeah, got a proper stove, got a sink, got a electric water pump plus a foot pump. I think it works. I'll be checking that out as well. Over here to starboard. So you got an ice box, not a fridge, just an ice box. It's big. Some extra insulation there. I don't know what the previous owner was doing with that. I'll have to figure that out. It's just sort of a loose piece of insulation stuffed in there. Back here you got a little spot to stow stuff. Right here he's got the clear companionway boards. Got a little bit of storage there on each side. Got sliding storage, not a whole lot. Boat really wasn't designed to be an offshore blue water cruiser, although it's capable enough to do that. It's sturdy enough, it's very sea kindly, but there's not a huge amount of storage. These look like cabinets, but they're really just access to instruments, right? A little bit of storage there maybe. Okay, so you've got the panel here, all the breakers and the battery switch. Batteries are charged, looking good. Swing it back around. Pick up some stuff here. Swing it back around, get you a view of the salon. So one thing you'll notice is obviously the settee cushions are gone. That's because I have had new, well, not new cushions made, but I've had them reupholstered, recovered with some nice sunbrella fabric that I got on the cheap. And I'm not about to put them back in here till I solve these problems. Like this problem right here. That would not be good for my new cushions. although that does go right down on the floor. As I was saying, yeah, that leak here on the main hatch, that shouldn't be an overly onerous task. Oh wow, look at that. If I sort of walk over one side of the boat, but heels just a little bit, and all that water runs out. Wow. But really, it's replacing a couple of gaskets around the interior and exterior of the hatch. We'll be all right. Of more concern is this port light right here. This port light, originally I thought might need to be rebedded because all of this teak is sort of delaminated around it. And when I first bought the boat, it felt a little damp. But you know, over the winter, I visited the boat a number of times after rain, and it wasn't wet. And one time after it had snowed a lot, and then the snow melted, it was a little bit damp, but I couldn't tell if it was coming from the port light. It really appears now that, in fact, the water is coming down from above the port light, and that means that the eyebrow on the exterior of the cabin roof is leaking. And I've had the boatyard here, I've asked them to rebed that eyebrow. And they've done it, but they haven't quite finished it because as I was looking at it on the outside, some of the bungs are still extended past the end of the eyebrow. So I'm just hoping that this problem here will be corrected when they complete that job, because that leaks right down there. And that would be right on my settee cushion. Not good. Not good. Really love the boat in terms of the dark wood sole and the dark teak. That's gone out of fashion, obviously, over the years, but I think in the early mid-'80s it was quite in vogue to have this dark teak, rich-looking wood, mahogany, and I love it. I love it. And I'm trying mightily to protect it, and I've already cleaned it once with Murphy's soap and applied lemon oil to it. Of course, the weather gods are doing their best to thwart me here. That and my inability to stop that leak, which I need to do. There, these cushions that are in here now are the cockpit cushions, right? So no harm, no foul with these things. Very waterproof. So I've got just a little bit of junk over there. I've got my sail cover. I've got some towels for cleaning up water. A little bit of storage there behind the settee cushions. And underneath, this settee pulls out. So the port side settee pulls out into double berth. You can see that rail that runs there over from the hull over to the mast, and the table that comes down, obviously. So moving forward, maybe too dark to see anything. Let's see. Got a little light on the subject. So there's the head. Typical head for a 30-foot boat. Got a manual head, shower sink combo. It's pretty nice. Does the job. That's all that's required. And then forward of the head is the ubiquitous V-berth. Nice V-berth. A little bit tight for my 6'5" frame. I can lay down in there. But it's sort of getting in. Getting in and getting out. Bit of a challenge. Whoops. Me sort of sliding back into the V-berth. Ducking my head down. There you go. Get that light out of the way. Yeah. So I can sleep in here, no problem. Got to go through a little bit of a gymnastics, though, to get in and out. I suspect I will be taking possession of that double settee out there in the salon. That'll be mine if we overnight on this boat, and we'll let the kids have the V-berth. Of course, unless it's just me and Mommy. And then, I don't know. We'll have to test out the V-berth. Okay. That hatch, thankfully, is not leaking. So what else can I show you on the boat? It stopped raining here at Regent's Point, and it's quite beautiful when it's not pouring down rain. Let you take a peek around the marina again real quick. Some awesome boats here, in fact. Look at that. It's beautiful. Calm. Look at that old Vindu right there. I mean, that is a cool looking boat. Talk about a lot of teak. I believe that boat's made in Sweden. There's that compact 28. That was a great deal for somebody. That boat is immaculate on the inside. And the price was low. The asking price was low, and I think the guy got an even better deal on it than I could imagine. Looking around. Got a nice island packet right there. Some cool boats here. It's a cool little marina. You get access right out onto the Rappahannock here. Very close to Deltaville. Nice place. To give you an idea how much it rained just now. This parking lot was dry when I drove up. So there she is. There's Sea Sprite. The boat's actually named Sea Sprite. Sea Sprite, the Sea Sprite. I don't know if that's clever or silly, but that's what I went with. Ah, she looks a lot better with the canvas on the Bimini and the Dodger up. Just walk around here, get a feel for her. I'm gonna get rid of those Gerard cow vents as well. They're all plastic, cracked. Get me a pair of nice old bronze ones and put them on there. I'm actually really looking forward to sailing this boat. I guess because I spent so little on it, I'm not so worried about breaking it. With the Cabo Rico, such an investment. And I think I'm gonna be overly cautious sailing her. This one, not that I'm going to treat her rough, but I think we're going to have fun. Yeah, so one more look around. It's about 7:15 p.m. on the 30th. That big storm is gone. Probably another band coming through in a little while. Probably going to head out soon. Just wanted to give you another look from the deck. Some of the features, right? So there's the old Durads. Gonna ditch those. Gonna get me some nice bronze ones. We're talking about the eyebrow and those bungs sticking out from the eyebrow. Right above, that's the port light that is leaking. You see how those bungs are sticking out? So I don't know what's going on. They weren't like that before, and I know I asked the guys here to rebed this eyebrow right here. I can only assume they're just not finished. They need to come along and cut those bungs. But it's clearly leaking. So that's not good. Get rid of those Durads as well and the house pipes. Come up with something better than that. Probably put a small windlass on here if it'll fit. You can see that rake that I described in the mast here. See how it bends back like that? That's typical of a fractional sloop rig. That rake allows you to go to windward more effectively than with a masthead. I like this boat. I like all boats. Climb up over top here, build the cabin top.